Everybody, thank you for tuning into my channel. I want to talk about the NFL and, in particular, how they keep statistics on interceptions. I think that can be fine-tuned a little bit. I want to talk about it in reference to last night's NFL game. Currently, it's Friday, October the 4th. Last night, the Atlanta Falcons played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kirk Cousins threw an interception. Now, it was late in the fourth quarter when he threw it. The situation was 4th and 15 at the Atlanta 20, so at his own 20-yard line. He threw a pass that was intended for Mooney, and it was intercepted by the Buccaneers, David, at the Atlanta 35. David returned it for 7 yards, so Tampa Bay took over at Atlanta's 28-yard line. In that situation, I don't think the interception should be statused as an interception, because if the defender had simply knocked the ball down, the turnover on downs would have given him the ball at the line of scrimmage. So they effectively lost 8 yards. They went -8 on the INT. And Kirk Cousins should not be given an interception because his decision to release the ball, even if it was high risk, was the smart play to make. You don't hang on to the ball when on fourth down. You unload it. If you're not rushing, you unload it to try and get the first down at all costs, because the INT doesn't hurt you. Now, it would hurt you if the intercepting defender got the interception and gained the line of scrimmage or better. In that case, I think it should count as an interception. But in cases where you can deduce that the interception would have been better as a knockdown, just knocking the ball to the ground as an incomplete, then I don't think you should credit the defender with an interception, because he actually did something that hurt his team. Now, did it cost the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the game? It's debatable. You can look at a precedent. We all remember Nick Chubb, I think it was 2 years ago. He was up against the Jets, and instead of sliding down at the 1-yard line and ending the game, he scored a touchdown to give his team a 13-point lead. Well, his team missed the convert, and then the Jets scored a touchdown, got the onside kick, scored another touchdown, and they won. And everybody understood that if Nick Chubb had not scored the touchdown but slid at the 1-yard line, his team could have went into victory formation to end the game. Now, it's a similar kind of point here. If David had knocked the ball to the ground, Tampa Bay would have got the ball at the 20 and not the 28. They ended up punting on the next play. Their next series, they lost 13 or 14 yards, depending on how you rounded. Now, if they were at the 20 and they lost 13 yards, they're then at the 33 and add 10 yards for the end zone, they could try a 50-yard field goal. That could put them ahead by 6. A 50-yard field goal is not a slam dunk. They might have missed. But because they were further back, they elected to punt. Now, when they punted, that gave Atlanta the ball back. Atlanta down by 3 is much better than, from Atlanta's point of view, than being down by 6. If they're down by 6 on their final possession, they must score a touchdown. If they're down by 3, they can try and tie on a field goal and go for the overtime win, which is what happened. So if you really look at it, that 8 yards, it was in the chain of events that cost Tampa Bay the lead, or the game. Depending on where you sit on whether or not the Tampa Bay would have attempted a field goal and got it, but you can see how Tampa Bay's chances were very negatively affected by this interception that a wise defender should never have made. Now, I look online and Kirk Cousins has taken some heat, and there's a Barstool Sports tweet where they're saying, What do you expect from a primetime game from Kirk Cousins? And then they show a highlight of the INT. Well, anybody who really knows their football knows if you're a quarterback in that situation, you unload the ball. And his decision to pass, even though it led to an interception, factored into the win. So, I see why they call it Barstool Sports, because, it's drunks that the true insight that it just goes right over their head, right? So I don't know if I'm too much of a fan there. But I think that if you really understand football, you see there's a need to fine-tune the statistics. That should not count as an INT. It should only count as an INT if they gain the line of scrimmage. If they don't gain the line of scrimmage, then they should have just knocked it down. So you should not punish the quarterback for unloading a high-risk pass in that situation, because the high-risk pass is the only option. It's the smartest thing to do. And you should not reward the defender with an INT when you could argue that it's stupid for him to catch the ball, and that the smart thing to do would be to knock it down. In this case, it might have cost Tampa Bay a 4-1 record, and it might have gifted the Atlanta Falcons a 3-2 record when they were staring right at 2-3 otherwise. Think about it.